Welcome to the Lehigh Career Center's video on interviewing. So interviewing, it's a really important part of the career process because it's ultimately what determines whether you're offered the internship or the job that you're going for. So things like your resume and networking, they will get you in the door for the interview, but it's the interview that actually lands you the position. And the good news is that interviews are somewhat predictable, and there are steps that you can take beforehand and questions you can prepare to answer during and follow-up steps that you can take after that can greatly increase your chances of success. And that's exactly the 3 points that we're going to cover in this video. So before the interview, there are a couple of essential ways to prep. So first, you want to research the company to learn about things like the company's values and goals and the company culture. And by doing that research, by incorporating what you learn into your interview responses, it will help you understand how to present yourself, and it'll demonstrate that you're enthusiastic and you're a strong fit for that particular organization. Second, you want to understand the position. So this means reviewing the job description in detail to understand the key qualifications, the key skills the employer is looking for. And by doing that, you can best demonstrate why and how you are the person the company needs to get that job done. And then third, before the interview, you want to know yourself, because in order to persuade an employer to hire you, you first need to convince yourself of that by understanding what it is that you have to bring to the table. So reflect on what you've done in the past, think about the strengths that you have, focus on your related experiences, your transferable experiences, so that you can really clearly articulate those in the interview. And then during the interview, there are a few different questions that will likely come up and that are essential for you to get ready to answer. So the first is, tell me about yourself. And this is one of the most commonly asked interview questions. It usually comes at the beginning, so it's a very important one to start off with a strong impression and to set the tone for the rest of that interview. And for tell me about yourself, I would recommend that you use what's called the present, past, future formula to craft your answer. So you'll start off by describing what you're doing currently. So where you go to school, your year, your major, any positions you have at the present time. And then you'll go on to talk about your past experiences. So choose a couple of key skills you've developed, a few past roles and accomplishments that you want to highlight. And then you'll conclude that answer with a future-oriented wrap-up that brings it back to the company and lets them know briefly why you're excited and why you believe you're a good fit for that specific opportunity. So tell me about yourself. It's a very important question to get ready to answer, and this present, past, future formula will help you do really well with that. Another very common and important type of interview question is the behavioral interview question. So these ask about times when you were in certain work-related situations in the past with the thought that how you acted then will predict how you'll handle similar situations in the future. And with these, employers are assessing for top skill sets like problem solving, teamwork, leadership, communication, and there is a formula for answering these as well that's called the STAR method. So STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. So you'll begin your behavioral interview answer by giving an overview of the situation you were in and some context to the story. You'll then go on to talk about the task you had to complete in that situation, then the action you took to complete the task, and then you'll conclude with the result of your action, so what it was that you accomplished. And I would recommend that before your interview, you prepare a bank of about 4 to 6 STAR stories that you can pull from and you can use interchangeably depending what's asked. And then at the end of the interview, the interviewers will likely ask, do you have any questions for us? And you should always have several questions ready, about 3 to 5, to show that you're prepared, you're enthusiastic, and that's also your opportunity to assess whether that's the right position for you too, because interviews are a two-way street. So they're not only interviewing you, but you're also interviewing them in a sense. So have some really thoughtful questions prepared and try to base at least a few of these on what you learned about the company or the industry through your research. So that way you're not only asking them a question, but you're also using it as a chance to show what you know as well. And then after the interview, take some time to reflect on how it went, some learning points you can take away. And always send a thank you email to your interviewers, ideally within 24 to 48 hours of the interview, to thank them for the opportunity and really solidify that strong impression that you made. So hopefully this video helped you learn how to get started in preparing for your next interview. And although it was a great introduction to the basics, there is still a lot more to learn about the topic of interviewing. And for Lehigh students, the interviewing resources on Handshake are the best place to start. So to find those, you'll log into your Handshake account, go up to the Career Center tab, select Resources, and find the Interviewing category, which contains all kinds of great guides and documents and tools to help you prep for your next interview and ultimately land the position. Thanks for tuning in.